The first time Celeste Vale held my hand, it was not because she loved me. It was because everyone else in the hallway thought I was a thief. 10 girls stood outside room 213, staring at me like I had already been judged guilty. Their silk robes, diamond earrings, and expensive perfumes filled the corridor until I could barely breathe. I stood barefoot on the cold marble floor. My old suitcase sat open beside me. Inside it were my folded uniforms, 3 second-hand sweaters, a cracked phone charger, and the only photograph I still had of my mother. But that was not what scared me. What scared me was the small cloth pouch hidden under my clothes. The pouch held the things I never let anyone see: bandages, medicine, and a letter I had never been brave enough to throw away. "Search the rest," Sloane said. Her voice was sweet in the way rich girls are sweet when they know they can ruin you. "She's the only one here who needs money." My throat burned. "I didn't take your bracelet. No one believed me. Why would they? At Westmere University, girls like Sloane were born with trust. Girls like me had to earn permission just to stand in the room." Sloane reached toward my suitcase. I moved before I could think. "Don't." Her eyes lit up. "What are you hiding, Mira?" The hallway went completely still. Then a cold voice spoke behind them. Her dignity, something none of you seemed to have. Everyone turned. Celeste Vale stood at the end of the corridor, the billionaire heiress of the Vale Group, the girl no one touched. The girl no one contradicted, the girl who had told me, on my first night in room 213, that I was nothing but a clerical mistake. She walked toward us slowly, her black hair falling over one shoulder, her white nightgown covered by a silk robe the color of moonlight. No one moved aside because she asked. They moved aside because she existed. Celeste stopped in front of me. Her eyes dropped to my suitcase, then to my hands. I was shaking. I tried to hide them behind my back, but she saw. Celeste always saw. Sloane crossed her arms. "Celeste, this doesn't concern you." Celeste didn't even look at her. "She lives in my room." "So?" Celeste finally turned her head. Her face was calm, too calm. "So if you accuse her, you accuse me of allowing a thief to sleep 6 feet from my bed." Sloane's lips parted. "That's not what I meant." "Then speak more carefully." The hallway went quiet. I should have felt relieved. But Celeste stepped closer, and suddenly I could only feel the warmth of her hand when she reached down and closed my suitcase. Not roughly, not gently either, protectively, like she was shutting the world out. Then her fingers brushed my wrist. My sleeve had slipped. Only for 1 second. But 1 second was enough. Celeste saw the old mark near my pulse. Her expression changed. Not soft, not pitying, dangerous. She looked at me in a way no one had ever looked at me before, like she had found a wound and wanted to punish the world for making it. "Who did this?" she whispered. My heart stopped. "No one." Her fingers tightened around my wrist. Not enough to hurt. Just enough to tell me she did not believe me. Sloane laughed nervously. "Can we finish this? My bracelet." Celeste lifted her eyes. "Your bracelet is in your left pocket." Sloane froze. Everyone looked at her. Celeste's voice stayed flat. "You put it there before dinner. I saw the clasp hanging out when you passed the mirror." Sloane's face went pale. Slowly, she reached into her robe pocket. The diamond bracelet slipped into her palm. The hallway exploded in whispers. Sloane tried to speak. Celeste didn't let her. "Apologize." Sloane stared at her. "To her." Celeste stepped forward. The air changed. "To my roommate." My roommate. Those 2 words hit harder than the accusation. Sloane looked at me. Her lips trembled with humiliation. "I'm sorry. It was not sincere. But it was public. And in a place like Westmere, public shame was sometimes the only justice poor girls were given." Celeste picked up my suitcase with one hand. Everyone back to your rooms. No one argued. When the hallway emptied, she carried my suitcase inside room 213 and locked the door. I stood there, still unable to breathe. Celeste? She turned. Her face was colder than ever, but her voice was almost quiet. From tonight on, you sleep closer to me. What? She looked at my wrist again. People keep touching what they think is unprotected. I swallowed. I'm not yours to protect. Celeste stepped closer. The moonlight touched her face. No, she said, not yet. And that was the night I realized the most dangerous girl at Westmere University had chosen me. But I still didn't know why. Before I met Celeste Vale, I believed rich people had easier lives. Then I arrived at Westmere University and learned something worse. Rich girls did not have easier lives. They had prettier cages. The university looked like a palace from the outside. Tall iron gates, stone buildings covered in ivy, a fountain in the center courtyard with a marble swan rising from the water. Girls stepped out of black cars while drivers carried their luggage behind them. Some had designer suitcases, some had parents who cried, some had mothers who adjusted their daughters' pearl necklaces and reminded them which families mattered. I had one suitcase with a broken wheel, no parents, and a scholarship letter folded so many times the paper had become soft. Mira Chen? The guard at the gate looked at my ID card, then at my shoes. They were clean, but they were cheap. Yes, I said. Scholarship dorm placement? I nodded. His eyes moved to the clipboard. East Wing, room 213. A girl standing nearby turned when she heard the number. Her eyes widened. Then she quickly looked away. I noticed. Of course I noticed. When you grow up poor, you learn to read faces faster than words. Is something wrong with room 213? I asked. The guard gave me back my card. No, but his voice said yes. The East Wing was not a dorm. It was a luxury hotel pretending to be student housing. The lobby had a crystal chandelier, gold elevators, and a front desk where a woman in a navy uniform asked for my name, as if she expected it not to belong there. When she saw my room number, her smile paused. Only for a moment, but I saw that too. Room 213 is on the second floor, she said. Your roommate has already arrived. My roommate? The woman looked uncomfortable. Yes. I dragged my suitcase toward the elevator. The broken wheel screamed against the marble. Every girl in the lobby looked at me. I kept my head down. That was my first mistake. At Westmere, looking down only made people more comfortable stepping on you. The elevator doors opened before I reached them. 3 girls stepped out. One had short hair, silver rings, and a lollipop in her mouth. One had perfect curls and a soft pink cardigan. The third looked at me as if I had arrived with the laundry. The girl with the lollipop smiled. You're new. I nodded. Mira. Cute. She pointed to herself. Ria. That's Ivy. And that ray of sunshine is Sloane. Sloane's smile did not reach her eyes. You're in East Wing. Yes. Family? I blinked. What? She tilted her head. Which family? I understood then. Not, do you have family? Which family owns you? I held my scholarship letter tighter. I'm here on academic scholarship. Ria whistled. Brave. Ivy gave her a warning look. Sloane smiled wider. Room 213. All 3 girls went silent. The elevator gave a small ding behind them. Ria slowly removed the lollipop from her mouth. Oh. I looked between them. What? Ivy's voice softened. You're Celeste Vale's roommate? I guess. Sloane laughed. Not loudly. That would have been kinder. She laughed like she had just heard a secret joke at my funeral. You guess? Before I could answer, someone spoke behind me. She is not my roommate. The voice was low, female, cold enough to make the lobby feel smaller. The 3 girls stepped aside, and I saw her. Celeste Vale. At that time, I did not know her name. But I knew she belonged to this place in a way I never would. She wore a black fitted coat over a white blouse, her long dark hair tied back with a silk ribbon. Her skin was pale, her posture perfect, her eyes calm and unreadable. She looked like someone who had never begged for anything, and never forgiven anyone. The woman at the front desk immediately stood straighter. "Miss Vale." Celeste did not look at her. Her eyes stayed on me, or, more accurately, on the paper in my hand. "Room 213 is private." I forced myself to speak. "The housing office assigned me." Then, the housing office made a mistake. I had prepared myself for rich girls to be rude. I had not prepared myself for one to sound so certain that my existence was an error. "I can ask them tomorrow," I said. "Ask them now." My face warmed. "I don't have anywhere else to sleep tonight." Something moved in her expression. Not sympathy. Recognition, maybe. Then it disappeared. Rhea stepped in, smiling too brightly. "Celeste, maybe just one night?" Celeste looked at her. Rhea immediately stopped smiling. Sloane crossed her arms. "This should be fun." Celeste turned and walked toward the elevator. I thought that was the end. Then she stopped. Without looking back, she said, "Bring your suitcase." I stared. "Me? There is no other scholarship girl standing here with a broken wheel." Rhea made a strangled sound. I grabbed my suitcase and followed. Inside the elevator, Celeste stood on the left. I stood on the right. Between us, my suitcase wheel squeaked. Once, twice, 3 times. Celeste closed her eyes. "Does it always make that sound?" "Only when it moves." Rhea coughed behind us, trying not to laugh. Celeste opened her eyes and looked at me. For the first time, I thought I saw something like surprise. Maybe girls did not answer her like that often. Maybe no one did. The elevator doors opened. Celeste walked out. "Do not touch my side of the room." That was the first rule she gave me. It would not be the last. Room 213 was twice the size of my old apartment. One side belonged to Celeste. White sheets, black desk, a silver lamp, books lined by height, a locked drawer, a glass vase with one white rose. No photographs, no clutter, no proof that a girl actually lived there. The other side was empty. Mine. The bed had no blanket yet. The desk had no chair. The wardrobe door was open like it expected nothing worth keeping. I placed my suitcase on the floor. Celeste watched. "You can use that half." "Thank you." It wasn't kindness. It was geometry. I looked at her. She was serious. I did not know whether to laugh, so I didn't. She took a paper from her desk and handed it to me. "What's this?" "Rules." There were 12. No loud music, no visitors, no perfume, no eating on the bed, no borrowing, no unnecessary conversation after 10, no touching the thermostat, no opening windows without asking, no singing, no crying. I looked up. No crying? Celeste's face did not change. It disrupts sleep. And I should have hated her. Maybe I did. But hate needs energy, and I was too tired. "I won't cry," I said. "Good." She returned to her desk. I opened my suitcase and began putting clothes into the wardrobe. I kept my long-sleeved shirts folded together. My medicine pouch went under the bottom drawer. The photograph went under my pillow. The letter stayed zipped inside the pocket I never opened unless the nightmares got bad. I could feel Celeste not looking. Somehow, that felt more intimate than if she had stared. At 10, she turned off the main light. At 11, she was asleep, or pretending. I changed under the blanket, slowly, carefully. I never let my sleeves rise above my wrists. I never slept with my back to strangers. But that night, With Celeste on the other side of the room, I slept facing the wall and told myself I was safe. Then the phone under my pillow buzzed. Unknown number, one message. You can change schools, Mira, but you can't change what you are. My breath caught. I deleted it. Then I lay awake until morning. By breakfast, the entire East Wing knew that Celeste Vale had a scholarship roommate. Girls whispered as I entered the dining hall. The room smelled like fresh coffee, expensive perfume, and warm bread. I scanned my ID card at the entrance. It flashed red. The dining hall worker frowned. Try again. I did. Red. Behind me, someone sighed. I stepped aside, cheeks burning. I'm sorry. The worker typed something into the screen. Your meal access hasn't been activated. But housing said, you'll need to go to student services. My stomach twisted. Student services did not open for another hour. I had not eaten since yesterday afternoon. Ria appeared beside me, holding a tray piled with pancakes. What's wrong? My card doesn't work. She looked at the red screen. Classic Westmere. They can build a fountain worth more than my uncle's house, but can't activate a meal card. She pushed her tray into my hands. Eat. I shook my head. No, I can't. You can. Watch. She took a strawberry from the plate and popped it into her mouth. Now it's shared. I almost laughed. Then Sloane passed us with two other girls. Careful, Ria. Feed one stray, and the whole shelter follows. The girls giggled. Ria's expression darkened. But before she could respond, a cup of black coffee appeared in front of Sloane. Celeste stood there, her face calm. Drink this. Sloane blinked. What? You seem tired. Your personality is showing. The dining hall went quiet. Ria covered her mouth. I looked down, because if I laughed, I might die. Sloane's face flushed. Celeste turned to me. Your card. I handed it over without thinking. She took it to the scanner, tapped something on her phone, then scanned it. Green. I stared. How did you? My family funds the East Wing. Of course they did. She handed the card back. Our fingers touched. Only for a second. Her hand was cold. Mine was shaking. Celeste noticed. Her eyes dropped to my wrist. I pulled my sleeve down quickly. Too quickly. Her gaze sharpened, but she said nothing. That was Celeste's most frightening habit. She never asked immediately. She waited until you could not run. Westmere's lecture halls looked like churches. High windows, wooden seats. Professors who said words like legacy, leadership, and excellence, as if poor people had never worked hard in human history. I sat in the back. Celeste sat in the front. Not because she wanted attention, because attention arranged itself around her. Everywhere she went, people watched. Girls admired her. Boys feared her. Professors respected her last name before they learned her first. At noon, I returned to room 213 and found a small box on my bed. Inside was a new suitcase wheel and a note. Fix it. The sound is unbearable. No signature. It did not need one. I held the wheel and smiled before I could stop myself. Then the door opened. Celeste stepped in. The smile vanished from my face. She saw it anyway. I bought it for my own peace, she said. I didn't say thank you. You were about to. Was I? Yes. I looked at the wheel. Then thank you. Celeste placed her books on the desk. You're welcome. The words were so unexpected that I looked up. She had already turned away. That night, Ria and Ivy came over with instant noodles, contraband chocolate, and a tiny electric kettle hidden inside a laundry basket. Celeste stood at the door like a prison warden. No. Ria clasped her hands. Celeste, please. Dorm bonding. No. Ivy held up the chocolate. It's Belgian. Celeste looked at it, then at me. I looked away. My stomach betrayed me by making a sound. Ria pointed at me. See? She needs bonding. Celeste closed her eyes. 1 hour. No smell, no singing, No noodles on my side. Ria cheered and rushed in. Ivy smiled politely. Sloane appeared behind them, uninvited. Celeste's face hardened. No. Sloane lifted a brow. You let them in. I like them more. Ria whispered to me. That's the nicest thing she's ever said. I almost smiled again. Sloane's eyes moved between me and Celeste. Something ugly flickered there. Careful, Mira, she said softly. Some girls collect broken things only until they get bored. The room went silent. Celeste's fingers stilled on the door. Ivy's smile faded. Ria stepped forward, but I spoke first. I'm not broken. My voice was quiet. But it was mine. Sloane looked amused. Of course. She walked away. Celeste shut the door. For a long moment, no one moved. Then Ria threw a chocolate at my bed. Congratulations. You survived your first Sloane attack. I caught it. My hands were still shaking. Celeste noticed. Again. That night, after Ria and Ivy left, I found Celeste standing by the window. The city lights reflected in the glass. She looked different when she thought no one was watching. Less like an heiress, more like a girl holding herself together with invisible thread. Why does Sloane hate me? I asked. Celeste did not turn. Sloane hates anyone she cannot categorize. And what category am I? A problem. I laughed once. It came out sad. Celeste looked back. Not to me. My heart did something strange. I pretended it didn't. You called me a clerical mistake. You were. Still a problem then. Celeste's eyes stayed on mine. Yes. The word should have hurt. But the way she said it did not sound like rejection. It sounded like confession. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. I flinched. Celeste saw. Of course she saw. Who is texting you? No one. That is becoming your favorite lie. I turned the phone face down. It's private. Celeste's gaze dropped to my sleeve. Privacy and fear are different things. I stood. I'm going to shower. I grabbed my pajamas and went to the bathroom. Inside, I locked the door and leaned against it. My phone buzzed again. You looked happy today. Don't forget what happens when you get comfortable. I turned off the screen. For a moment, I could not breathe. Then someone knocked. Mira, Celeste. I'm fine. I didn't ask. I said I'm fine. Silence. Then her voice came softer. Your sleeve is caught in the door. I looked down. It was. A small strip of fabric had slipped outside. I opened the door quickly. Celeste stood there. Her eyes did not go to my face. They went to my wrist. The sleeve had pulled up. Not enough for everything. Enough for the truth to begin. I yanked it down. Don't. Celeste's face changed. I wasn't going to touch you. That made it worse, because I believed her. I stepped back. She stayed where she was. The hallway light made her look pale and distant, but her voice was careful. Someone is frightening you. No, Mira. I hated how my name sounded when she said it, like she had already memorized it, like she had no intention of giving it back. I don't need help, I said. Celeste looked at me for a long time. Then she nodded once. Then I won't help. Relief loosened my chest, until she added, I'll wait until you ask. On Saturday night, East Wing held its welcome party. It was not officially allowed, which meant it was expensive. Girls filled the lounge in satin dresses and soft laughter. Music played low enough to pretend it was classy. Someone had decorated the windows with tiny lights. The marble floor reflected everything, until the room looked like a dream that charged admission. Ria dragged me there. I wore a simple blue dress Ivy had lent me. It was too pretty. I kept trying to pull the sleeves lower until Ria slapped my hand. Stop! You look lovely. I look borrowed. Everyone here is borrowed. Some from their parents, some from their future husbands, some from credit cards. I laughed. For 5 minutes, I forgot to be afraid. Then Celeste entered. The room changed. She wore black. Of course she did. A simple dress, silver earrings, hair pinned back. Everyone looked. I looked too. I wished I hadn't, because Celeste looked at me. Only me. Her gaze moved over the borrowed dress, my nervous hands, the sleeves I kept pulling down. Then she walked straight toward me. Ria whispered, "Oh, this is cinema." Celeste stopped in front of us. "That dress is Ivy's." I looked down. "Yes, it doesn't fit." My face burned. Ria gasped, "Celeste." But Celeste reached into the pocket of her coat and handed me a small pin shaped like a pearl flower. "For the shoulder," she said. I stared at it. It was beautiful. Probably worth more than my entire suitcase. "I can't take that." "You're not taking it, you're wearing it. That's the same thing." "No, taking implies choice." Ria turned away, shoulders shaking with silent laughter. Celeste stepped closer. "May I?" I should have said no. I nodded. She lifted the pin and fixed the loose fabric at my shoulder. Her fingers did not touch my skin. Not once. Somehow, that made my heart race more. "There," she said. I looked up. She was too close. For a second, the party noise faded. Then Sloane's voice sliced through the moment. "How sweet." Celeste stepped back. Sloane approached with 2 girls behind her. Her smile was sharp. Celeste Vale playing dress-up with her scholarship project. Ria muttered, "Here we go." Sloane looked at the pin. "That's from the Vale Winter Collection, isn't it?" Celeste said nothing. Sloane's eyes widened with fake innocence. "Mira, do you know Celeste was supposed to wear that at her engagement dinner?" My stomach dropped. Engagement? I looked at Celeste. Her face did not change, but her eyes did. Sloane smiled. "Oh, she didn't tell you?" Celeste's voice was flat. "Leave." Sloane ignored her. "Her family has arranged everything. Business merger, perfect bride, perfect future. Girls like Celeste don't get love stories. They get contracts." I should not have cared. I had known Celeste for 3 days. 3 days. But something inside my chest twisted. Ria stepped between us. "Enough." Sloane looked at me. "Don't look so sad, Mira. Did you think she was saving you?" I said nothing. Sloane leaned closer. "She saves things because she owns them." Celeste moved so fast I barely saw it. 1 second she was beside me, the next she was in front of Sloane. "Say one more word to her." Sloane swallowed. The entire lounge stared. Celeste's voice lowered. "I dare you." Sloane smiled, but her hands trembled. "You're making a scene." "No," Celeste said. "You are." Then she took my hand. In front of everyone. Her fingers locked around mine. The room went silent. Celeste turned to me. "We're leaving." I should have pulled away. I didn't. She led me out of the lounge, down the marble corridor, past the elevators, past the windows shining with city lights. Her hand was cold. Mine was warm. Neither of us let go. Back in room 213, I pulled my hand free. "Are you engaged?" Celeste closed the door. "That is not your concern." I laughed. It sounded wrong. "You're right." She looked at me. "Then why are you angry?" "I'm not." Bad lie. I turned away. "I'm not angry. I'm embarrassed." "Why?" "Because I let myself think you were being kind." Celeste went still. I hated that I had said it, but I could not stop. "You fix my suitcase wheel. You activate my card. You give me pins and defend me in hallways, and then everyone laughs because I don't understand that for you, this is just..." I searched for the word entertainment. Celeste's face hardened. "You think I'm entertained? I think you're bored." The silence was immediate, sharp. Celeste stepped closer. "You know nothing about me. I know enough." "No," she said. Her voice was colder now. "You know what people say. There is a difference." I looked at her. "Then tell me." For the first time, Celeste Vale had no answer. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Her jaw tightened. I saw the name before she turned it over. Mother. Something in me softened. I hated that too. Celeste picked up her coat. I have to go. Of course you do. She stopped at the door. Mira. I did not turn. She waited. Then she left. The room felt too large without her. That night, I slept badly. At 2:13 a.m., the door opened quietly. Celeste returned. I kept my eyes closed. She moved through the room without turning on the light. A drawer opened. A bottle cap twisted. Water poured. Then silence. I opened my eyes. Celeste stood by the window, one hand pressed against the glass. Her shoulders were shaking. Not much. Just enough. I sat up. Celeste! She straightened immediately. I woke you. No. She did not turn. I got out of bed slowly. For once, she looked like the one who might run. You're crying, I said. I'm not. Bad lie. A pause. Then a sound escaped her. Not a laugh, not quite. I stepped closer. What happened? Celeste wiped her face before turning around. In the moonlight, her eyes looked darker. My mother moved the engagement dinner. When? Tomorrow. My chest tightened. With who? Celeste looked at me. A woman I barely know. I should have felt relief, because it was a woman. Instead, I felt something more complicated. Jealousy, fear, something unnamed. Can you say no? Celeste's smile was small and bitter. Heiresses don't say no. We negotiate how much of ourselves we lose. I had no idea what to say, so I said the only true thing. I'm sorry. She looked away. I don't need pity. I know. Then why are you looking at me like that? Like what? Celeste's voice dropped. Like I'm not a monster. The words hurt more than they should have. I took one step closer. You're not. Her eyes moved to my hand. My sleeve had slipped again. I froze. Celeste saw, but this time she did not ask. She reached for the blanket from my bed and gently wrapped it around my shoulders. Not touching my skin, not forcing anything, just covering what I was afraid to show. Neither are you, she said. I looked down. My throat burned. No one had ever said that to me like they meant it, not as comfort, as fact. The next day, Celeste was gone before I woke up. On her desk was a note. Meal card works now. Don't skip breakfast. I stared at it for a long time. Then I folded it and put it in my drawer. I told myself it meant nothing. By afternoon, the room had become too quiet. Ria came by, with Ivy and a bag of snacks. No, Celeste? Ria asked. Engagement dinner. I tried to say it casually, failed. Ivy sat beside me. You like her? I almost dropped the snack bag. No. Ria grinned. That was the least convincing no in history. I've known her for 3 days. Ivy shrugged. Sometimes 3 days is enough to ruin your peace. I looked at the door. She's engaged. Ria's smile faded. Celeste has been engaged to family expectations since birth. The person is just paperwork. Before I could answer, shouting erupted in the hallway. Sloane. Again. This time she was crying. Loudly. By the time we stepped outside, half the floor had gathered. My bracelet is gone, Sloane said. The same diamond bracelet from the party. Her eyes found me instantly. My stomach dropped. No, not again. Sloane pointed at my door. She was staring at it last night. Ria exploded. You cannot be serious. Sloane's voice shook beautifully. She needs money. Everyone knows that. The whispers began. Scholarship girl. Poor. Room 213. Celeste's favorite. Favorite? My hands went cold. Sloane stepped toward me. Open your suitcase. No. The word came out before I could stop it. Everyone heard. Sloane's face lit up. Why not? Because my life was inside. Because my fear was inside. Because girls like you don't just search bags. They search wounds. Rhea stood in front of me. She said no. Sloane ignored her. You're defending her because you hate me. No, Rhea said. I'm defending her because you're cruel. Ivy looked down the hallway. Where is Celeste? At her engagement dinner, Sloane said. Then she smiled. So no one is here to protect her. That was when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Open the bag. Let them see what you are. My vision blurred. I backed away. Someone grabbed my suitcase. I don't know who. Maybe Sloane. Maybe one of her friends. All I know is that the zipper opened. Clothes spilled onto the floor. A sweater. A shirt. The photograph. The cloth pouch. I lunged for it. Don't. Sloane snatched it first. What is this? My whole body went cold. Rhea grabbed her wrist. Sloane, stop. But Sloane pulled away. The pouch opened. Bandages fell out. A small bottle rolled across the floor. The hallway went silent. Too silent. Everyone looked at me. Not like a thief now. Worse. Like a tragedy. I could survive hatred. I could survive suspicion. But pity felt like being undressed in public. My breath came too fast. I didn't take it, I whispered. No one answered. Then someone at the end of the hallway said, I know, Celeste. She stood there, in a black dress, pearls at her throat, hair pinned perfectly, but her face was not perfect. Her lipstick was slightly smudged. Her eyes were furious. Sloane froze. Celeste walked forward, slowly. Each step sounded like a verdict. Rhea moved aside. Celeste looked at the clothes on the floor, the pouch, the bandages, then me. For 1 second, her anger broke. Something raw flashed beneath it. Then she turned to Sloane. Pick them up. Sloane swallowed. What? Celeste's voice was low. Everything you threw on the floor. Pick it up. I didn't. Celeste stepped closer. Pick them up. No one breathed. Sloane crouched. Her hands shook as she gathered the clothes, the photograph, the pouch. When she reached for the bandages, Celeste stopped her. Not those. Celeste bent and picked them up herself, carefully, like they were not evidence, 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 like they were not evidence. Sloane stared. I found it in the lounge. That's impossible. No, Celeste said. What's impossible is how boring your cruelty has become. A few girls gasped. Celeste handed the bracelet to Rhea. Give this to the dorm supervisor. Tell her Sloane misplaced it and falsely accused another student. Sloane's face drained. You wouldn't. Celeste looked at her. You keep saying that. Then Celeste took my hand. Not roughly, but not secretly either. Everyone saw. Her fingers wrapped around mine. And this time, I did not pull away. Inside room 213, Celeste locked the door. The click sounded final. I stood in the middle of the room, shaking so badly I could barely feel my feet. Celeste placed my suitcase on the bed. Then she turned to me. Breathe. I laughed once. It came out broken. I know how to breathe. No, she said. You know how to survive. That's different. Something inside me cracked. I sat on the edge of the bed. Then I started crying. Quiet at first, then not. I covered my face with both hands. I'm sorry. Celeste stood there, helpless for the first time since I met her. Then she sat beside me. Not too close. Close enough. You're allowed. I tried to laugh. You had a rule. No crying? I nodded. Celeste looked at the floor. I was an idiot. That made me cry harder. She reached toward me, then stopped. Can I? I knew what she was asking. Can I touch you? Can I comfort you? Can I come closer without becoming another person who takes? I nodded. Celeste put her arm around my shoulders. Carefully, I leaned into her before I could stop myself. She went very still. Then slowly, she pulled me closer. Her perfume was faint. Something clean, expensive, safe. I didn't steal anything, I whispered. I know. I'm not like what they think. I know. I'm not. The word stuck in my throat. Broken, dirty, disposable. Celeste's arm tightened. I know. My face pressed against her shoulder. For a long time, we stayed like that. Two girls in one elite dorm room, one born with too much power, one born with too little protection, and a secret between us that had already become too heavy to hide. Finally, Celeste spoke. "Who is texting you?" I froze. Her voice stayed calm. "I saw your phone." I pulled away. "You looked?" "No." It lit up on the floor. I wiped my face. "It's nothing. Mira." I hated how gentle she sounded. Gentleness was more dangerous than anger. Anger I knew how to fight. Gentleness made me want to tell the truth. "I don't know who it is. How long?" I looked down. "Since before I came here." Celeste's expression changed. "Show me." I shook my head. "No." "Mira," I said no. The room went silent. Celeste leaned back. "Okay." I blinked. She stood and walked to her desk. No argument, no force, no command. That somehow made me want to hand her the phone even more. "Why did you leave your dinner?" I asked. Celeste stopped. "Ria must have called you," I thought. Or Ivy. Or maybe Celeste just had a way of knowing when someone was touching, what she had decided to protect. She turned. "My mother introduced me to my future fiancé." The word hurt. I tried not to show it. "And?" Celeste's eyes stayed on mine. And I realized I would rather be here. My heart forgot how to behave. "With me?" She did not answer immediately. Then she said, "With my roommate." I looked away first. Because if I kept looking at her, I might start believing things I had no right to want. After the accusation, East Wing changed. Not openly. Rich girls rarely apologize when they can simply adjust their behavior. But whispers stopped when Celeste passed. Doors closed faster. Sloane avoided our hallway. Ria declared herself my public relations manager and told everyone that if they had questions about me, they could submit them in writing and receive a rejection within 5 business days. Ivy quietly brought me tea. Celeste brought silence. But her silence changed. Before, it had been a wall. Now it felt like a guard standing outside a door. That night, I woke from a nightmare. I did not scream. I had learned not to. I simply sat up, gasping, one hand at my throat. Across the room, Celeste's lamp turned on. She was awake. Of course she was awake. "What happened?" "Nothing." "Mira." I closed my eyes. "Bad dream." Celeste got out of bed. Her hair was loose, falling over her shoulders. She looked younger without the armor of makeup and perfect clothes. Almost like a normal girl. Almost. She crossed the room and stopped beside my bed. "Do you want water?" I shook my head. "Do you want the light on?" Another shake. "Do you want me to leave you alone?" I hesitated. That was the answer. Celeste sat on the floor beside my bed. Not on the bed, the floor. I stared at her. "What are you doing?" "Leaving you alone nearby." I should not have laughed, but I did. Just a little. Celeste looked offended. "Is that funny?" "Yes." "Good." I blinked. She leaned back against the bed frame, eyes forward. For a while, neither of us spoke. The room hummed softly with the air conditioner. Outside, the city lights blinked like distant stars. I lay back down. Celeste stayed on the floor. "You don't have to sit there," I whispered. "I know. You have an engagement tomorrow." Unfortunately. You should sleep. I am not good at doing what I should. I turned my face toward her. Celeste? Yes? Why me? Her head tilted slightly. What do you mean? You hate everyone. I don't hate everyone. You tolerate Rhea. You ignore Ivy. You threaten Sloane. You terrify the entire floor. Accurate so far. But with me, I stopped. Celeste waited. With me, you're different. She did not answer for a long time. Then she said, when I was 13, my father bought me a white bird in a gold cage. I listened. It was rare, expensive, very beautiful. Everyone told me I was lucky to own it. Her voice was quiet. I hated that cage. What happened to the bird? I opened the door. Did it fly away? Yes. Her mouth curved sadly. Then my father replaced it with a painting of a bird and said painted things were easier to keep. I did not know why that made my chest hurt. Celeste looked at me. When you arrived, everyone looked at you like you were something misplaced, something that should be returned, corrected, contained. Her eyes dropped. I know that look, I whispered. I'm not a bird. No, she said. You're worse. I frowned. She looked at me again. A bird only makes you want to open the cage. My breath caught. Celeste's voice softened. You make me want to burn it down. The next morning, the Vale family came to Westmere. They did not enter like visitors. They entered like owners. 3 black cars stopped in front of East Wing. A woman stepped out of the middle car, wearing a cream suit and pearls. Celeste's mother. I knew before anyone said her name. She had Celeste's eyes, but none of her warmth. Beside her stood another girl, tall, beautiful, elegant, the kind of girl magazines called timeless, because calling her rich would be too honest. Rhea whispered beside me, That's Adrian Shaw. Who? The fiancé. The word hit like cold water. Adrian looked up at room 213's window, then smiled, not cruelly. That was worse. She looked kind. I hated that. Celeste appeared at the entrance a moment later. Her face became unreadable. Her mother kissed the air beside her cheek. Adrian touched her arm. Celeste did not move away. I watched from the second-floor window. I told myself I had no right to feel anything. Celeste was not mine. She had told me that already. Not yet. The memory made my face warm. I stepped back from the window. Behind me, the door opened. Sloane stood there. I stiffened. She looked different. No smile, no audience. I came to apologize. I said nothing. She glanced at the floor. My father got a call. From Celeste? From the dorm supervisor. Then from Celeste. Of course. Sloane swallowed. I shouldn't have touched your things. No, you shouldn't have. Her face tightened. I was angry. That doesn't make it better. I know. For the first time, I believed she might. Then her eyes moved to the window. Be careful with Celeste. My jaw tightened. If this is another insult. It's not. Sloane looked uncomfortable. She doesn't just protect people. She fights wars for them. Why is that bad? Because the Vale family doesn't lose wars. They collect debts. Then she left. I stood there, colder than before. A message buzzed on my phone. Unknown number. She cannot save you. No one keeps girls like you. For the first time, I did not delete it. I stared at the words. Then I took a screenshot. My hands shook as I opened Celeste's contact. I had never texted her before. I typed, "Can we talk?" I almost erased it. Then I sent it. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me. My heart started pounding. Another message arrived. I'm coming. Celeste reached room 213 in under 3 minutes. She did not knock. She used her key. When she stepped inside, her mother followed. So did Adrian. The room suddenly felt too small for all that money. Celeste's eyes found me first. Are you okay? Her mother noticed. Of course she noticed. Mrs. Vale smiled. You must be Mira. I stood. Yes, ma'am. How polite. She looked around my side of the room. My simple blanket, my old suitcase, my cheap textbooks. Every glance felt like a price tag being read aloud. I understand there was an incident. Celeste's voice was cold. It was handled. Mrs. Vale ignored her. Westmere can be overwhelming for students from less structured backgrounds. Less structured. Poor sounded ugly, so she had dressed it in silk. I forced myself to smile. I'm adjusting. Adrian looked at me gently. I hope people haven't been unkind. I did not know what to do with her kindness. It felt real. That made it dangerous. Celeste stepped closer to me. Her mother watched. Celeste, Mrs. Vale said. A word. No. The room went silent. Mrs. Vale's smile thinned. Excuse me? I said no. Adrian looked down. I realized then that she was not free either. Maybe none of the rich girls were. Maybe they just had better curtains on their cages. Mrs. Vale's voice stayed calm. That scholarship girl has become a distraction. Celeste moved before I could react. She stood fully between us. Her name is Mira. My chest tightened. Mrs. Vale's eyes sharpened. How noble. But nobility is expensive, darling. Are you prepared to pay for it? Celeste's hands curled. Adrian spoke softly. Mrs. Vale, perhaps this conversation should wait. Mrs. Vale turned to her. Adrienne, dear, this is family business. Celeste laughed once. It had no humor in it. Family business. Is that what we're calling my life now? Her mother's smile disappeared. You have responsibilities. I have a roommate. Mrs. Vale looked at me. A temporary one. Celeste's voice dropped. No. One word. The entire room changed. Mrs. Vale stared at her daughter. Do not embarrass me. Celeste's face was pale, but she did not back down. You brought my engagement to my dorm room to intimidate a girl who has nothing to do with you. She has everything to do with me if she compromises your judgment. Celeste looked at me. For one impossible second, everyone else disappeared. Then she said, She is my judgment. My breath stopped. Adrian closed her eyes. Mrs. Vale went very still. That was a mistake. Celeste smiled faintly. No, for once, it wasn't. Her mother stepped closer. Pack your things. You are coming home for the weekend. No, you are. Celeste's voice became ice. If you try to remove me, I will call grandfather. Mrs. Vale froze. So there was someone even she feared. Celeste continued. And if you try to remove Mira from this room, I will tell him exactly why. Mrs. Vale looked at me with sudden hatred. Not because I mattered, because Celeste had made me matter. Adrian finally spoke. Mrs. Vale, we should leave. For a moment, no one moved. Then Celeste's mother turned toward the door. At the threshold, she stopped. Girls like her do not stay, Celeste. Celeste did not blink. Then I'll make sure she does. The door closed. Silence rushed in. I did not realize I had been holding my breath until Celeste turned around. Her face softened. Only a little, but I saw it. Mira, I stepped back. What was that? She stopped. You texted me. You said I was your judgment. Celeste's eyes dropped. I shouldn't have said that in front of them. That's what you're sorry for? Her gaze lifted. What do you want me to be sorry for? I laughed shakily. For making me feel like I belong to you, when I don't even know what I am to you. The words came out before I could bury them. Celeste stared at me. I wanted to disappear. Then she stepped closer, slowly, giving me time to move away. I didn't. What do you want to be? She asked. My heart pounded. That's not fair. No, she said. It isn't. Her hand lifted, stopped, waited. I nodded. Celeste touched my sleeve near my wrist. Not my skin, just the fabric. I don't know how to love gently, she said. The room went quiet. My throat tightened. I didn't ask you to love me. Celeste's eyes met mine. I know. Her thumb brushed the edge of my sleeve. But I'm afraid I already started. That evening, rain covered the windows. Ria and Ivy came over with tea, snacks, and absolutely no respect for emotional privacy. Ria pointed at Celeste. You threatened your mother? Celeste turned a page in her book. Yes. Ivy poured tea. For Mira? Celeste did not look up. For the moral stability of East Wing. Ria stared. Wow. Romance is dead. I choked on my tea. Celeste's eyes flicked to me. For the first time, I saw it. A tiny smile. Barely there, but real. Ria screamed. She smiled. I did not. You did. Ivy. Witness. Ivy nodded solemnly. Witnessed. Celeste closed her book. Both of you leave. Ria grinned. Not until you admit you have feelings. Celeste stood. Ria grabbed Ivy and ran. At the door, she looked back at me. Mira, blink twice if you need rescue from the emotionally constipated heiress. I laughed. Actually laughed. Celeste watched me. The door closed. For a few seconds, the room felt almost normal. Then my phone buzzed. Both of us looked at it. The unknown number again. My hands went cold. Celeste's face changed. This time, I did not hide it. I picked up the phone and handed it to her. Her eyes moved over the messages. One by one. The threats. The reminders. The words designed to make me small. By the time she finished, her expression was terrifying. Who is this? I don't know. Think. I don't know. Mira. My stepfather. I whispered. The word changed everything. Celeste looked at me. I could not look back. He found ways to message me before. Different numbers. Different accounts. I thought if I came here, my voice broke. I thought I would be far enough. Celeste placed the phone on the desk, very carefully, like if she moved too fast, she might break the world. Did he hurt you? I could not answer. That was answer enough. Celeste closed her eyes. When she opened them, the girl in front of me was no longer just an heiress. She was a storm, choosing where to land. I need a name. No. Mira. No. I stood. You can't fix this with money, or lawyers, or threats. Yes. I can. No. Celeste. You can't. She stopped. I wrapped my arms around myself. If you fight him, he becomes real again. If your family finds out, they'll use it against me. If the school finds out, I become the poor damaged girl everyone whispers about. Celeste's anger faltered. And if I do nothing? I looked at her. Then sit with me. The answer surprised both of us. Celeste's voice softened. That's all? No. It was everything. I sat on the bed. After a moment, Celeste sat beside me, not touching, just there. The rain tapped against the window. My phone stayed silent. For the first time in years, silence did not feel like waiting for punishment. It felt like rest. At midnight, the power went out. The East Wing emergency lights glowed faintly red. Somewhere down the hall, Ria shouted, "If this is a ghost, I'm transferring." I laughed under my breath. Celeste lit a candle. Of course she had candles. Expensive ones. The room filled with the scent of white tea and cedar. You keep emergency candles? I asked. I keep emergency everything. Of course you do. She placed the candle on the desk. The light softened her face. Without electricity, without her perfect lamp and sharp shadows, Celeste looked less untouchable. I pulled my blanket around my shoulders and sat on the floor. She sat across from me. For a while, we listened to the rain. Then I asked, "Do you love Adrian?" Celeste's eyes lifted. No. The answer came too fast. "Does she love you?" No. How do you know? Because she apologized when our parents introduced us. I blinked. Celeste's mouth curved sadly. She said, "I'm sorry they chose me." I looked toward the door. She seems kind. She is. Then why don't you want her? Celeste looked at me. The candle flickered between us. You know why. My heart beat too loudly. I should have looked away. I didn't. Celeste leaned back against the bed. My family thinks love is a liability, something that makes you reckless. Does it? Yes. Her eyes stayed on mine. It made me leave an engagement dinner because Ria sent me one message saying you were in trouble. I swallowed. What did the message say? Celeste took out her phone and showed me. Ria, your scholarship girl is about to cry, and I think Sloane is about to die. Come fast. Despite everything, I laughed. Celeste watched me like the sound mattered. Then the smile faded. I was afraid, she said. You? Yes. Of Sloane? No. Then what? Celeste's voice became almost too quiet. That I would arrive too late? The candlelight moved across her face, and suddenly I understood something. Celeste's coldness was not emptiness, it was control. She kept herself frozen because if she ever let herself feel, she would feel everything like a wound. I reached across the space between us. This time, I touched her hand first. Her eyes dropped to our fingers. She did not move. You weren't late, I whispered. Her hand slowly turned under mine, palm to palm. A choice, a promise. The power came back. The lights flashed on. We pulled apart. Too quickly. The room returned. The world returned. But something had changed, and both of us knew it. The next morning, a notice appeared on the East Wing board. Room reassignment meeting. Mira Chen. Monday, 9 a.m. My name looked small on the paper. Official. Final. Ria ripped the notice off the board. They can't do this. Ivy looked worried. They can if the donor family requests it. We all looked at Celeste. Her face was blank. Too blank. I knew that look now. It meant she was afraid. I took the notice from Rhea. It's okay. Celeste turned to me. No. I tried to smile. It was always temporary. No. Celeste? No. The hallway went quiet. She stepped closer. You are not leaving room 213. You can't just decide that. I can. No, I said softly. You can fight it. There's a difference. Her jaw tightened. Ria and Ivy quietly disappeared into their room. Cowards. Celeste looked at the notice in my hand. My mother did this. Probably. I'll stop it. And then what? Her eyes lifted. I forced myself to say it. You stop the room change. You stop Sloane. You stop your mother. You stop my stepfather. How long before you hate me for becoming another war? Celeste flinched. I regretted it immediately, but she answered, I won't. You don't know that. I do. How? Celeste stepped closer. Because when everyone else looks at you, they see trouble. Her voice softened. When I look at you, I feel quiet. The words broke something in me. Not painfully, like a lock opening after years of rust. I looked down. I'm scared. Celeste touched the notice. Not my hand. The paper. I know. If I stay, your family will come harder. I know. If I leave, maybe things get easier for you. Celeste's expression changed. For one moment, she looked almost angry. Do not make yourself smaller and call it kindness. My throat tightened. She took the notice from my hand and tore it in half. Then again. Pieces of paper fell between us. Celeste, I'm not done. She took my hand and led me down the hallway. Where are we going? To student housing. In pajamas. She looked down at herself. Black silk pajama set. Expensive robe. Bare feet in slippers. Then at me. Oversized sweater. Messy hair. Panic. Celeste lifted her chin. Yes. And because I had apparently lost my mind, I followed her. The student housing office did not expect two girls in pajamas, especially not Celeste Vale. The woman behind the desk stood immediately. Miss Vale. Celeste placed the torn notice on the counter. Fix it. The woman looked at the pieces. I'm sorry? Room 213 remains unchanged. The woman typed quickly. There was a parental request. I am 20. Yes, but your family. My family does not sleep in my room. I covered my mouth. The woman froze. Celeste continued. Mira Chen is my assigned roommate. She has not violated housing policy. There is no academic, disciplinary, or safety reason to move her. The woman glanced at me. I expected judgment. Instead, I saw sympathy. I understand, Miss Vale, but this came from higher administration. Celeste smiled. That was never a good sign. Then call them. It's Sunday. I know. They may not answer. They will. 10 minutes later, the Dean of Residential Life answered. Celeste took the phone. This is Celeste Vale. You approved a retaliatory housing change against my roommate without cause. Reverse it by noon, or I will request a formal discrimination review and copy the scholarship board. She paused, listened, then said, No, my mother is not the injured party. She is the donor attempting to influence housing policy. Another pause. I stared at her. The woman behind the desk stared too. Celeste's voice stayed calm. Yes, I'll hold. Ria would have loved this. After 5 minutes, Celeste handed the phone back. The woman typed something, then looked up. Room 213 remains unchanged. I exhaled. Celeste turned to me. See? I shook my head. You're terrifying. Yes. I smiled despite myself. Thank you. Her eyes softened. You're welcome. Then the office door opened. Adrian Shaw stepped inside. Celeste went still. Adrian looked at me first, then at Celeste. I need to talk to both of you. We met Adrian in the empty music room. Rain tapped against the tall windows. A grand piano sat in the corner, polished and silent. Adrian looked too elegant for bad news, but her hands were nervous. I'm sorry, she said to me. For what? For being part of something that hurts you. I did not know how to answer. Celeste crossed her arms. What did my mother do? Adrian looked at her. She's moving the engagement announcement up. Celeste's face hardened. When? Tonight. My stomach dropped. Adrian continued. She wants it public before you can refuse privately. Celeste laughed coldly. Of course. Adrian turned to me. She also knows about the messages. I froze. Celeste stepped forward. How? I don't know, but she mentioned Mira's family complications at breakfast. The room tilted. Celeste looked murderous. Adrian's voice softened. Mira, I think she plans to use your past to make the school remove you for safety reasons. My hands went numb. Safety. What a pretty word for exile. Celeste reached for me, then stopped. Because Adrian was watching. Because everything was complicated. Because love, whatever this was becoming, had witnesses now. Adrian looked between us. I don't want to marry Celeste. Celeste blinked. I know. No, Adrian said. You know I don't love you. That's different. She took a breath. I'm already in love with someone else. For the first time all morning, Celeste looked surprised. Adrian smiled sadly. She's not rich. My parents would destroy her life if they knew. The room went quiet. 3 girls, 3 cages, different sizes, same lock. Adrian looked at me. So, I'm going to help you. Why? I asked. Because if Celeste is brave enough to ruin her engagement for you, maybe I can be brave enough to ruin mine for her. Celeste looked uncomfortable. I have not ruined anything yet. Adrian raised an eyebrow. You walked out of dinner, threatened your mother, refused housing orders, and came to student services in silk pajamas. I whispered. She did. Celeste looked at me. I looked away. Adrian handed Celeste a flash drive. What is this? Guest list. Press contacts. Contract draft. If your mother announces tonight, she'll use the scholarship scandal as leverage. Be ready. Celeste took it. Thank you. Adrian nodded. Then she looked at me. Take care of her. I almost laughed. Celeste? Adrian's eyes softened. She acts like she's made of glass that can cut people, but she's still glass. After Adrian left, the music room felt different. Celeste stared at the flash drive. I stared at her. Are you okay? No. The honesty surprised me. She sat at the piano bench. I don't know what I'm doing. I sat beside her. That makes two of us. Her shoulder almost touched mine. Almost. She looked at the keys. I was trained for negotiations, hostile rooms, family politics, financial reports, public smiles. And scholarship girls? Her mouth curved. No one prepared me for those. I smiled. Then it faded. Celeste, if your mother uses my past, she won't. But if she does, Celeste looked at me. Then we tell the truth first. My chest tightened. I can't. Not all of it. I can't. She turned fully toward me. Okay, again. That word. That permission. It hurt more than pressure. I whispered. Why do you keep stopping when I say stop? Celeste looked confused. Because you said stop. I closed my eyes. Such a simple answer. Such an impossible gift. When I opened them, Celeste was watching me. I reached for her hand. She let me. The Vale announcement party took place in Westmere's old library because apparently, when rich families destroyed their daughters' freedom, they preferred historical architecture, crystal glasses, white flowers, soft music, reporters, donors, parents, students pretending not to stare. Celeste stood beside her mother near the staircase, dressed in white. She looked beautiful. She looked trapped. Adrian stood on the other side, elegant and pale. I watched from the back with Rhea and Ivy. Rhea whispered, I hate rich people events. Everyone looks like they're about to poison someone politely. Ivy nodded. Accurate. Mrs. Vale stepped up to the microphone. Thank you all for joining us tonight. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Last chance. Leave before everyone learns what you are. My vision blurred. I showed it to Rhea. Her face changed. Ivy took my hand. At the front, Mrs. Vale continued. Tonight, two families celebrate not only partnership, but legacy. Celeste's eyes found mine across the room. She knew. I don't know how, but she knew. Mrs. Vale smiled. My daughter Celeste has always understood duty. Celeste stepped forward, took the microphone, and said, No. The room went silent. Mrs. Vale's face froze. Celeste looked out at the crowd. Her voice did not shake. I have understood duty. I have respected it. I have obeyed it. But I will not confuse duty with ownership. Whispers spread. Reporters lifted phones. Adrian stepped beside her. Celeste glanced at her. Adrian nodded. Celeste continued. There will be no engagement announcement tonight. Mrs. Vale hissed. Celeste. Celeste ignored her. And there will be no more private donor interference in student housing, scholarship placements, or disciplinary procedures at Westmere. The dean went pale. Rhea whispered, Oh my God. Celeste looked at me again, then at everyone else. A student was falsely accused this week. Her privacy was violated. Her safety was threatened, and the people responsible believed they could hide behind money. Mrs. Vale stepped forward. That is enough. Celeste turned. No, it's finally enough. My heart pounded. Then my phone buzzed again. This time, not unknown. A message from Celeste. Come here only if you want to. I stared at it. My hands shook. Rhea whispered, You don't have to. Ivy squeezed my hand. I looked at Celeste. She was not asking me to save her. She was giving me a choice. So I walked. Every step across that library felt impossible. People stared, whispered, judged. But this time, I did not look down. When I reached the front, Celeste held out her hand. Palm open, waiting, not taking. I placed my hand in hers. The room erupted. Camera flashes, gasps, Mrs. Vale's fury, Adrian's quiet smile. Celeste's fingers closed around mine. She faced the room. "This is Mira Chen," she said. "My roommate." A pause. Then, softer. "The person I trust. Not girlfriend, not lover, not scandal. Trust." Somehow, it meant more. Mrs. Vale's voice was sharp. "You have no idea what this will cost you." Celeste looked at me, then back at her mother. "Yes," she said, "I do." By the time we returned to room 2113, it was almost midnight. The campus was exploding. Videos of Celeste's speech had already spread through student group chats. Ria sent 17 messages, mostly screaming. Ivy sent 1 heart. Adrian sent, "Thank you for being brave before I was." Celeste read it and looked away. I stood near my bed, still in the simple dress Ivy had lent me. The pearl pin was still on my shoulder. Celeste noticed. "You kept it on." "I forgot." Bad lie. I smiled. A tired smile, but real. Celeste walked to her desk and removed her earrings. For the first time since I met her, she looked uncertain. "What happens now?" I asked. "My mother retaliates." "At me?" "At both of us." I swallowed. "I'm scared." Celeste turned. "So am I." That should not have comforted me, but it did. I sat on my bed. She stayed standing. The space between us felt full of everything we had not said. Finally I whispered, "Earlier, at the party," Celeste looked at me. "You said I was the person you trust. You are. Why?" She crossed the room slowly. Stopped in front of me. "Because you're afraid and still kind." My throat tightened. "That's not special." Celeste's eyes softened. "In my world, it is." The room went quiet. Rain tapped gently against the window again. I looked at the floor. "You also said you were afraid you had already started to love me." Celeste did not move. I almost wished she would deny it. She didn't. I did. My heart hurt. "Do you regret it?" Celeste knelt in front of me, not like an heiress, not like a queen, like a girl who was tired of standing above everyone. No. Her hand rested on the blanket beside mine, close, waiting. "I regret that I don't know how to do it without frightening you." I looked at her hand, then placed mine over it. "You frighten me less than everyone else." A small, broken laugh escaped her. "That is a terrible compliment. It's the best I have." Her fingers turned under mine, palm to palm, like before. But this time, neither of us pulled away. Then my phone buzzed. The sound cut through the room. I picked it up. Unknown number. 1 message. "You chose the wrong girl to hide behind." A second message arrived. A photo. My blood turned cold. It was a picture of room 213's door, taken from the hallway. Tonight, Celeste saw it. The softness vanished from her face. She stood and moved to the door. I followed, heart hammering. "Celeste," she opened it. The hallway was empty, except for one thing, a white envelope on the floor. Celeste picked it up. Inside was a single printed photograph. Me, sleeping, taken inside room 213. On the back, someone had written, "She was never safe with you." My knees weakened. Celeste caught me before I fell. Her arms wrapped around me, protective, possessive, shaking. For the first time, Celeste Vale looked truly afraid, not for herself, for me. She locked the door, then the window, then she turned off the lights and pulled my bed closer to hers. I did not argue. This time, when she sat beside me, I leaned into her. Her voice was low in the dark. "I'm going to find out who did this," I whispered. And then, Celeste's arm tightened around me. "Then I'll make sure they understand something." "What?" Her lips brushed my hair, not a kiss, almost, a promise. You are not alone in this room anymore. Outside, somewhere in the east wing, a floorboard creaked. Celeste went still. So did I. Then 3 soft knocks sounded on our door. 1, 2, 3. A girl's voice whispered from the hallway. Mira? My heart stopped, because I knew that voice. It was impossible. It was impossible, because she was supposed to be gone. Celeste looked at me. Who is that? I could barely breathe. My stepsister. Another knock. Then, the voice came again. Sweeter this time. Mira, open the door. I know what you did. Celeste stood. Her eyes turned colder than I had ever seen them. And for the first time, I understood. The secret between us had not brought danger into room 213. It had only unlocked the door. End of EP01.